What if I told you, YouTube, there is a way to see the RLCS rosters for 2025 in action early? Obviously, a lot of us are waiting for next week and the week after for the RLCS season to begin, but there was a tournament for the 3v3 off-season open in every single region that some of these rosters have signed up and played. And I'll be perfectly candid with you all. A lot of the top rosters did not do so. Like the top 5 in EU are not competing. In NA, there's like 1 or 2 here and there. But that doesn't excuse some of the results and some of the surprises that have happened. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I alluded to it in a previous video. So with that in mind, just as a kind of general heads up, during the offseason, RLCS put out $435,000 worth of tournaments. And in particular, the main regions are competing for about 40,000. The minor regions about 16, 17,000. And then if you're somewhere in between, it's about 21, 22K. These events are a 3v3 tournament that you can sign up and play on over the course of a couple different days. And there was like open qualification process and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is there's been some pretty big upsets across the board. 2 of them have already finished, and I can tell you candidly, upon recording this video, all of these will end by the end of the day today. So by the time you guys see this video, all those results have come out. You can go and see the favorites. Maybe we'll do some predictions in the middle of this. But New Jeans, the new super team that is going down in OCE, takes number 1. Kinotrope, which shout-outs to Kinotrope. That is the full Japanese roster. With that in mind, taking a look, we're going to go one by one. We're going to go starting with the bottom and working our way up to North America, because North America's got the biggest and funniest upsets. Plus, it gives some time for these teams to actually complete some matches. But we do have New Jeans, which is that roster in the OCE region of Super Lucky, Amphis, and Kaga that have been very, very competitive. The one that's been a little upset is the Torsos, Gus, and Fever team. We know this team's got a lot of potential. Torsos is notorious for finding a way to make majors and lands. But if you look at their results, they're losing. They're losing to Oi Oi, which is surprising. Misty, Fades, and Prompt. So, again, some upsets, and sure, it did go to 5. A lot of people have been talking about these tournaments. The downfall being is that the seeding has not been great. A lot of the things are forcing big name teams to play each other very, very early on in the broadcast. Reality is that you still have to win every match if you're going to win the entire tournament. So whether you do it early or late, at the end of the day, you still got to win your games. That is just kind of the reality of tournaments. But yeah, it does make it a little bit awkward when you're having to play like a top 16 seed in like the top 90 something round. So yeah, Energy was seeded 215th. I do agree it's a way to force players to go and play and you know, actually get numbers up. But yeah, it should be the 4th and final option, not the 1st. So pretty rough on that regard. So shout out to New Jeans. They've been looking really good during the offseason. Up next, we do have that APAC region and Kinotrope with Lunatic, Furlash, and Realize. Full native team looking really, really good. 3 Rats, on the other hand, is Balleries, LCT, and Kevin. Good to see LCT still being competitive after all the stuff that went down with Gaming Gladiators. We also have some other non-natives like Goff, Snow, and Hibbs that we saw that we're going to be migrating over there as well. They, on the other side, didn't do that great. What is exciting is we are seeing Falcons and GK compete right now in the grand final. Falcons actually forfeited their upper bracket match and is now going through the lower bracket. They did get revenge on Bravado, who they forfeited to, and have been making a run and looking pretty dang good. On that GK team, this team will probably no longer be GK. We've already seen off-season reports where very likely they're going to go and pick up a European team and do something different. So that's where we're at. GK, though, is still showing competitive as the number 2, which if I am a person that is watching the space and I go, okay, GK is about to drop these guys, but they're still going toe-to-toe against some of these top teams, maybe we should pick them up. Interested to see how that one goes. Because they are right now, I would say, power rankings number 2, maybe number 3, depending on what happens with Twisted Minds and picking up Rise, Nalpo, and Atomic potentially. Falcons very likely going to win this one. We'll find out very shortly here on stream live. South American region, they are just getting started today. Some favorites. Team Secret dropped down early. Erased that new B&W team we talked about in a recent roster video. But Fury up top. Nova's AV coming back, which is cool to see. Interesting results across the board. Interesting results. Also cool to see Royales and Kaio, the great one, going back and performing top 4. So we'll see. Fury is obviously the favorite. I have full expectations of them winning. As for Team Secret dropping down to lowers, that's pretty spoopy. So Again, it's crazy that you see them not as the 1-2 seed because they don't play ranked. So Furia and Team Secret probably came in as a very... We could probably see that actually in the bracket. Somewhere in Pool 2. Pool 3. Yeah, in Pool 4. They're Pool 4 and they're not even the top seed in Pool 4. That's kind of psycho. Like the fact that Furia and Secret are in the same bracket, playing each other in upper bracket semifinals of the double... Ranked should not be the way you do seeding. On to the next region. We've got it actually finalizing. So this is SSA, I think. No, yeah, this is SSA. Who ended up winning? Hay with Riz. Ivan, Karsa, and Rebzi. Boo. Precious, which is the former Limitless roster. Still going to the grand finals. They did get a bracket reset. They did get swept in the final one. Hopefully it does make these guys better. But yeah, it just sits wrong. We're now in EU. As you can see in EU. Oh, 4 because of... That's true. That's true. So in EU, the top like 5 teams in EU, former DIG, the new NIP roster, K-Corp, Vitality, so on and so forth. None of those teams signed up. We do have right now the new team that we talked about in a previous video with Lewis, Acro, and Rezi. Right now sitting in the grand final waiting on RRC. Rizex, Rizvox, and Catalysm just dropped. They're in the lower bracket final. Magnifico with Razir's, Tox, and Atomic running it back, ironically enough. And Lower's trying to make a run through. Who else is down there? Synergy. Who's Synergy? That's who they're playing right now. Synergy. AJG, Tecos, and Dorito. Interesting. Okay, so we are seeing new iterations. So for a lot of people watching, you do have the ability to go back and watch some of these. Whether they are live or not, you have to hope. I do know Atomic is streaming the matches. So if you want to see a really quick iteration of like what this team and what this team looks like, the new AJG team, you can do so. Right now it's 1-1 according to chat. Appreciate that, Zukins. They lost on day 2, did they? What was their name? Does anybody know? JJS. They lost to Fast Forward? What? Wow. All right. Did they play with Violent Panda again? What happened? They lost here, and then they had to lose in the upper somewhere too. Not a good look. All right. And then we, last but not least, and North America has been kind of a crap show. So, a couple things to take away from NA. Number 1, Shopify Rebellion lost very early on, if it shows it, to Alpha Cup. It does not show it. It shows in the previous round somewhere. But in the early rounds, Shopify, as you can see, is in that lower bracket of Pool 2, and it's because they lost to Alpha Cap and Friends. Alpha Cap, God, I forget their third. They luckily have made it all the way and battled through the lower bracket until they lost to the new Space Station team, which is obviously the Scribbles team. So they got eliminated there. Space Station ended up making it through. NRG as well is in the lower bracket. Who did NRG lose to? The Boys. And you're like, who the heck is the Boys? It's Janaps, Eris, and Garrett G. So while Garrett G goes, hey guys, I'm retiring. I'm passing over the torch. Here's the keys to the car. It's all you now. He goes, don't forget who your father is. I own you literally still. You're losing to the owner of your organization. Co-owner, by the way. Kind of goofy. Kind of goofy. I'm going to put out a blanket statement for all these. Just as a heads up, it's an off-season tournament. People aren't really taking these seriously. There is no ranked grind. People aren't really putting in the time and scrimming and doing their thing. All that said, inexcusable for NRG. Inexcusable. And even worse for that Shopify team. That is a bad look. When you didn't make a roster change, when you're confident in what you're doing, not a good look. Now, Mango is what the FKLJ Chronic team is going under until they get signed. They are looking pretty dang solid from what it looks like. They did go through, didn't drop a single game. In the main event, are waiting to play Deleted. This is a very good test for the Deleted roster. I kind of want to watch that if it's on when I am awake. But I, as you guys can tell, I'm going to be watching the Packer game at that time. So I'll have to like dual screen or figure something out. So Mango, the boys, Deleted drops down, Omelet drops down. They'll probably play between Space Station, Minion, Energy in these. Some pretty exciting matches tonight. We'll see how they end up turning in. Again, if you guys want to see these, you can check these out on the Liquipedia. Easiest way to do so, go to the front page, drop down where it says ongoing. It'll say completed. Click on the completed one and it'll have this in there as well. It'll tell you who the champions are. But again, early looks. Maybe we'll do some replay analysis in the following weeks if we can find them. Because again, if the players aren't streaming it, if the orgs aren't streaming it, there's no way to really watch. We just gotta sit and watch the broadcast. So hopefully these players understand that streaming these is a really good way for free viewership. Hopefully Garrett ends up streaming their run and stuff like that too. Either way, early iterations and early looks, missing a lot of top tier teams, but some of them, like the Mango roster, doing pretty good. It also gives us a name for them on our page, which is dope. That's gonna do it. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming and tuning in. This is an extended one. I got a lot I gotta clip out of this, but as always, like, comment, subscribe down below. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.